do with an opening affirmative prayer. Just gently close your eyes and allow your intention to move beyond the exterior to that inner world, that safe sanctuary within. We leave out all the cares of the day. And for this moment, we allow our consciousness to just know that that power, that presence that is God, its intelligence and its wisdom is right at the heart of each and every one of us joining this session. Everything necessary for our highest expression of clarity and good just opens in our hearts and minds. We're able to now share ideas that uplift, enlighten, and heal. And we know that that intelligence and wisdom is guiding this process easily, effortlessly, and joyous. God in perfect activity in us. So every thought, every word, every action, every prayer, I know is just God. God at the center and God at the circumference of our experience. And we can call it good and very good. So let us know, within our hearts know, that everlasting power and presence is indeed governing every aspect of our being. And we all experience harmony and love and peace and that quiet confidence, knowing that all is well in our world of affairs. Thank you, God, that this is so. And so it is.
So it is.
So, let us just, for a few minutes, or a few seconds, I should say, let us just continue that silence. Just, if you opened your eyes, close them again. And as you breathe in deeply, you breathe in peace and harmony, and you release the joy of being alive. Deepen the breath. And just allow that sweet silence to permeate every aspect of our awareness. As the nervous system settles down, gently reopen your eyes and just know with me that everything, the highest expression of good, is even now demonstrating itself in our lives and affairs. Thank you, God, that this is so. This evening, I'm sharing some ideas around this topic. How much faith is enough? First question, what is faith, though? I will share a response from Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching. science of mind and spirit. That is an answer to the question. He says, faith is a mental attitude that is so convinced of its own idea, which so completely accepts it that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. I'll go with that again. Faith is a mental attitude that is so convinced of its own idea, which so completely accepts it that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. So consider you have a desire that you want to demonstrate in your life right now. You are so convinced, I must have it. It must demonstrate itself in my life and affairs. And nothing, no contradiction from the exterior world, no well-meaning gesture from friends and associates can stop you from making the necessary steps for the complete fruition of this desire in your life and affairs. That faith that is immovable, inexhaustible, no matter what comes up, you are standing firm on the demonstration of that desire. So one might ask, is it possible to measure that kind of mental stance? Or how much faith you're going to need for a car, how much faith you may need for a relationship, or for a cruise around the world? How much faith would I need to ensure that I keep my attention on this idea that I want so much to experience? Strange, eh? How much faith? Because sometimes people say, I don't know. Oh, yes, you should know. You want to experience it. So do whatever is necessary to ensure that this is a reality. Jesus, our way sure, in the Judeo-Christian Bible, stated in Matthew 17, verse 20, said, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible to you. End of quote. This was the response to the disciples, who were not able to heal the son who had mental issues of a man who had come to them for healing. After their attempts, nothing happened. So he went straight to Jesus. And Jesus, needless to say, healed the young man. And they said to Jesus, how come? And that was his answer. You have to have faith as a mustard seed, that you can say to this mountain, remove, and it moves from yonder place, and nothing is impossible to you. This tiny seed, yet in the parable of the mustard seed, Jesus the way sure in Matthew 13, verse 32 stated, which indeed this mustard seed is indeed the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs and becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge on the branches thereof. End of quote. So Jesus is saying, from within this tiny seed, a great tree shall be projected, and it will provide shelter for the birds of the air. So there is nothing small and insignificant about a mustard seed. So the context then of the measurement of enough faith, mighty to move a mountain, so small, one must ask, what does Jesus? The literal meaning is not what we are contemplating this evening, but the metaphysical meaning and significance of the words of Jesus, the way show. A little faith, strange enough, by law, the law of attraction, little faith produces little results. So that's not That's not the road we're going. So how much is enough then? Within this little seed, a mighty tree that will provide protection and shelter metaphysically. Elizabeth Santurner, in her book Your Hope of Glory, noted that an initial divine idea is small amidst the multitude of other thoughts in the mind. It is like a tiny mustard seed sown in a field. Yet an idea born in spirit has in it tremendous life and power. It will grow until it becomes so strong and sturdy as a tree and will serve as a lodging place for additional spiritual ideas. End of quote. This is necessary for complete manifestation and demonstration because truly it is nigh impossible I have here to stop the expansion into that what we have unswerving faith in. If our faith is sure, nothing is impossible for us. So understand with me, just as a tiny movement in the undifferentiated field of potential can rise up into a mighty wave of desired good, then faith is therefore related to quality and perception of thought and not quantity. So that little mustard seed that Jesus is mentioned as a mustard seed produces this mighty tree, just as this small idea that we have held in mind can rise up through the unpotential, pulling everything necessary for its complete fruition and demonstration into that mighty wave of good that one desires to experience. We are reminded by Judge Thomas Trott of the Edinburgh Lectures. He said, any anxious thought as to the means to be employed in the accomplishment of our purpose is quite unnecessary. If the end is already secured, then it follows that all steps leading to it are secured also. End of quote. So once we remain diligent, allowing the will to keep our attention and intention on the culmination of the desired good, then the steps in between must fall into place to enable the effortless demonstration of the desires of our heart. Hebrews 11, verse 1, and we all know that one. Now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. So it is again not quantity, but the quality of our thoughts and the alignment of our perceptions with our beliefs. Within us all is this capacity for ideas to grow and expand into our desired good. I'm not telling tales out of the, but think of it. One day you just get up and you say, wow, I have so many demonstrations in my life. I'd really love to share this with others so that they may know or they may come to know an approach that will assist them going forward in their own lives. And that idea sits in the mind. And then one day you stumble on something and say, wait, I can publish a book. What are the components? Who do I need to go to? Who I need to speak to? Yes, and the mind holds on to this idea of publishing these ideas. Then you start writing. If you have not written before, you start compiling. Before you know it, you've gone to 300 pages and you send it to your friend to read it for you and say, critique it properly for me. And it's done. And when the package comes back and you start to reread it again, you say, wow, the excitement, the expectation start to bubble through your conscious awareness. And before you know it, that there's a call. Somebody say, oh, guess what? You can go to that person and she will assist you in the publishing of the situation, and you'll find somebody will assist you to plan around it. And before you know it, what? You have the notice going out that this person is going to launch their book. And we are all invited to listen to the reading, and we sit there with cocktails listening to ideas that come forth from the book. That's how it starts. One little idea that goes mighty into this book that is now published and who, bestseller list. You just don't know. But you don't stop it because it's every inch of the way. Yes, it's difficult sometimes, but every inch of the way, you're moving upwards and onwards. And this faith that we have in ourselves increases as we feed it and nurture it with living words of truth. Norman Vincent Peale gives us a story of a businessman who had a method of applying faith in his sales work. The story goes like this. This man told him of his method of applying faith in his sales. Formerly, this man was shy and diffident, always apprehensive of his own inability, always fearful to make an approach to a potential prospect. And then he decides, I can't go. If I want to sell X amount, I'm going to have to shift from this stance that I can't do it or I'm too shy. So he became a student of faith through the teachings of several inspirational books. And as a result, he worked out a method to achieve what he desired. So here is his method. Firstly, he practiced affirmations daily. This is the one that he used. I affirm that God's guiding presence is with me. I affirm that through divine guidance, I will take the right steps. I affirm that God's mind working in my mind is reducing error in me and building up rightness, hence depreciating my tendency to make mistakes. Simple enough, and what he wanted to demonstrate that he's able to do whatever is necessary to attract the right sales without making any mistakes. So his prayer is just how he thinks, God's mind is working through him to ensure that he makes no mistakes or mistakes that won't cost him. Simple, honest, affirmative statement to foster an attitude of certainty in his abilities to make and take the right steps towards successful sales. The second thing he did, he made an effort to know all his customers and prospects as friends and sought opportunities to help them, not for the purpose of a sale, but he felt that he was on God's team and these persons were important to him. So, what do you think? I'm asking this question and I want somebody to share in the chat for me. What do you think is going through his mind when he says, okay, these are my potential customers. Let me pray for them. Let me assist them in anything that they need any assistance for. What do you think was going through his mind? Can anybody give me an idea? Any salesperson in the audience can tell me, why would you ensure that your customers are your friends? Oh, what?
Once you've been.
Sorry.
Yes, Sandra?
Jennifer, you go ahead.
No, man, I was just going to say that you build your sales on relationships, and I'm sure that's where you were going, Sandy. So you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
no, but you tell me, I mean, there's a word for people like you, Jennifer. You know sales for the back of your hand. Mm-hmm. You can eat it, sleep it, pick up everything. You know how that works. So why would you? Yes, you're building on relationships. What type of relationships you're building on?
Sandy, go ahead, Sandy. You wanted to finish your thought. Sandy?
Yeah, just speaking from experience, I know that my clients now are people have taken years, as Jen says, to build relationships. But the way I give to them, because they'll call me and download on me, not about the contract or the issues, the work we're doing together, but their own issues, and I support them and big them up and give them the tools or remind them that they have the tools already within themselves. And so I don't know, maybe in the giving is the receiving.
True. That's one aspect of it. And a trust factor is built up
Yeah,
between you and your partners. It's almost a partnership that
correct.
if they go somewhere and somebody asks them, but you know somebody who can train these people for me, for Jennifer. I mean,
For
you
Sandy.
know somebody who can manage some as a project for me, a sales project for me. And instantly that person said, check Jennifer Livingston and Sandra Cooper. See, because they trust you. Because they know the interest that you have. They know exactly how you're going to deal with it in a way that is filled with integrity. I mean, trust is a solid situation to have between yourself and your customers.
Yes.
So that is why I think this little man said, boy, and to go a little further, he created what you call a prayer list for all his customers as well, because he wanted, to build compassion and fellowship. It became a real partnership. It's not a salesman and customers. It's a partnership between two people interested in a particular product. Because
Reverend Ann, would you say that if the clients thrive, then he thrived?
yes, they must thrive under circumstances
Absolutely.
like that. What you give, you must receive, and it must be multiplied abundantly. So I see where this little man is going. He felt that his hands and feet is a channel for his for service to God. So that is it. He was being used to assist his people in this way. And what happened? The third thing, he knew that the product that he was representing was a good product. He could tell you the attributes of the product, and
Integrity.
he stood by it.
Yeah,
He could sell
integrity.
it. So the ease with which he could talk to his clients and say, recommend this, that, or other, because he knew what he was dealing with. Him know all of the chemical attributes and what it's supposed to do, and people have found that his product works. So they naturally gravitate to him, even if they don't want that product. They will gravitate to him and say, Sandra, where I can find so and so, or Jennifer, where I can find this, that, or the other, because the trust has been built between the client and yourself. So it's not even client anymore, it's your friend. And friends look out for friends.
That's right.
So I see where is this, and it's an old book, so you can just, if he had this kind of idea for his sales approach, he must be a very wealthy man today. And the last thing he did was to visualize his complete success at what he was selling. So he used to visualize himself with his cups, and the clients coming around him and congratulate him, and he could tell you he could set goals and know that, at the end of the year, if him add 50% to it, him know that him will realize it because he visualized his success.
Yes.
And that is a component that I think is a masterpiece. You have to see yourself succeeding. Don't let any thoughts, any little niggling doubt, you just rush it and say, it's all right, thank you for sharing, but on a path now of success, and you just visualize yourself moving around it and doing what you need to do. And this is where our faith comes in. It's quality. It's really quality and not quantity. What kind of thoughts that we have about our success in life? And do we listen to the assumptions of the appearances of the exterior? Body calculating that what these stars going to do from what they're not going to do. You continue to see the truth that these things not going to affect you, and in affecting you, it not affecting your clients either or your partners. See everybody excelling beyond and above, dealing with whatever issues that arise, and know that there always is a solution to whatever situation arises. And that is where, if one person is a majority within a circle, that person who has the high watch of faith and believe in the good for all concerned, then clearly success just radiate from that person. So in summary, we nurture our faith by our affirmations and prayers, service It's part of our acceptance of who we are and whose we are. Third, visualization of our good. See the culmination of what it is we hope for and what we are certain, even if we don't see it. And finally, live that faith. Live it, share it. So our call to action is on nurture, by affirmation, serve, visualization, and live the truth of your faith. So finally, the words of Ella Wheeler Wilcox, she says, there is no chance, no destiny, no fate that can circumvent or hinder or control the firm resolve of a determined soul, end of quote. When somebody is convinced and determined to succeed, nothing stops your faith. Faith is a shield. Your faith is just there to surround them, and it projects from them and making sure that everything is aligned for the fulfillment to enjoy. Namaste. Know that, is there any questions or any issue that would have risen in your mind that you could share at this point before we go on to our prayers?
I just want to say, Reverend Anne, that if it weren't for absolute, unquestionable faith in my life, when I look at, I came in the temple in 1983, and over the last 42 years, I have seen how my faith has grown and expanded, and how my faith has allowed me to craft and manifest so much in my life. And there are times when the faith is challenged, but it doesn't last long. I can get right back on track because I know that, God has my back every single time.
That is truly reassuring to hear. That you have not given up. And in the last 20 years or more, what you have accomplished. Kudos to you, Sandy.
It's
Anybody
42 years.
42 years.
And counting.
And counting. More to come. What that thing is again, Jennifer? Send more. Send more.
Thank God, send more.
Share that with us again, Jennifer. Send more.
Thank God, send more.
Yes. Send more. Yes, Sandy. Send more of what it is that will just fulfill itself in your life as the joy and the peace that you will serve. Yes. I agree with that. Anybody else have any testimonies that they want to say too? Or is it time to share? 42 years. I don't go on that far, but wow.
Yes, it's 6:30 now.
It's 6:30. Well, let us pray.
6:29, yeah.
Let us pray. Vance, you have any prayers on YouTube? Request for prayers?
Nothing on this.
Nothing on this. I have one from the telephone.
No, not from.
All right. I know Pauline she wants one. Health.
I always take help, so put me on the list, please.
All right. So that is
the neck bone connected to the backbone, and everything connected to the everything. So
everything is everything.
Affirmative prayer of health.
Right. Okay. And I know for a loving relationship for Juliet. So I have two. Anybody else have anything else to share? Well, all right. Let us start off with light, and then I'll do these two that I have received. But let us start with light, because expansion of our awareness is what we are moving towards with this faith of who we are and what we want to accomplish. Want to ensure that the ideas to do this come into our hearts and minds and ways made clear. So we just recognize always the wisdom and intelligence is indeed God. I know for each one of us as we experience and express this attribute allows us to know beyond a shadow of doubt whatever is necessary for our highest good. I know our minds are clear. I know there is clarity among anything that concerns us. And I know that as each one of us have ideas and desires that are simply just waiting to explode in our lives and affairs as beauty and joy and goodness and love, I know that the light of God just fills our minds now. And I know that any shadow of doubt is just simply dissipated into nothingness. The certainty and the assurance that we deserve everything that is successful and good. I know that we are led now to avenues to express those wonderful desires of our hearts. So as we visualize ourselves with this complete fulfillment of every desire of our lives, we just know that joy, that quiet contentment, that all is indeed well. Indeed, divine right action attends each one of us. Right activity, that the resources that are necessary, the persons that are necessary for the complete culmination of everything successful in our lives comes to us easily, effortlessly, and joyously. Oh, we give thanks for this light, this wisdom, this intelligence that is forever moving upon itself to create anew within each one of us. Oh, we give thanks. We give thanks that the Lord now receives these words and manifests them perfectly. I know that this is so, and so it
So
is.
it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend. And I claim that one.
Self too. Let us affirm perfect health now for Sandy and Pauline.
And Dawn. Dawn wants health too.
And to Dawn. There's one perfectly. The life of God. That life that is forever moving through each one of us and making every cell, every tissue, every organ and function of our body temple. So I know for Dawn, Pauline, and Sandy, and all who are open and receptive, that every cell, organ, and function of our bodies now work harmoniously together. All that is necessary for us to experience the beam, the vitality, and indeed that flawless energy that is the Christ within us happens within the body temples of each one. I know that whatever is necessary for us to experience optimum health, perfection, and wholeness comes to us easily. Whatever we need to release is dissolved. And I know that that perfect blueprint that is held in the mind of God within each one of us is now activating every single cell and organ of our body temples. Oh yes, we are healthy, we are whole, we are hearty. And indeed, as we allow the life of God, you just animate us. I know that we move with alacrity and ease. We are flexible because yes, all is God within each one of us. We give thanks for the health of our bodies. We give thanks that the love of God surrounds us and dwells us. We give thanks that the law of perfection and wholeness ensures that indeed as we walk toward, we are indeed experiencing that eternal life of God that created us out of itself. We give thanks that the life of God is indeed our life now, and we celebrate that truth as I release my word to law and know that it is so, and so it is.
So it is. Mhm.
So it is. So it is.
Lateness, is there something missing from your request? You say peace, perfect peace, joy, and a contented, fulfilled. Ah, you added something. I got it. Thank you.
Peace.
I was misreading. Sorry. Peace. So there's peace and joy for Dawn. And for Peyton, there's peace, perfect peace, joy, and a contented, fulfilled life for my daughter. A contented peace, joy, and a contented, fulfilled life for my daughter.
For all of us.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
for all of us, yes, including
I claim
everyone.
that too.
Peace and joy.
Mm.
We open our hearts and minds to that quiet sanctuary within our hearts, filled with the peace, filled with the calmness of spirit, and indeed that joy of knowing that we are loved, we are appreciated, and just to know that as this peace reigns supreme in our minds, anything unlike peace is dissolved into nothingness. Harmony reigns supreme in every avenue of our expression. So I know that as we experience that quiet contentment and fulfillment, each one of us, and I call into being that special blessing of peace and contentment for Teriel, because God is at the center of our lives and our experience. Where God is, we can claim that stillness, that silence, and allow the birthing of perfect ideas to flow through us that fill us with joy. Fill our lives with a confidence of knowing that no matter what, the grace of God covers every aspect of our being. That grace that perfects everything that concerns us, that smooths all ruffles and allows us to be just remain immersed in quiet softness, peace, and joy. And indeed, I must say love. Because with love, that love just simply just knows itself within us, wherever we find ourselves. Indeed, that love surrounds us and ensure that our way is made perfect. Peace, perfect peace, fulfills itself as our experience now. I know it for Dawn. I know it for Ariel. I know it for later. Oh yes, that quiet fulfillment of good and more good is the truth about each and every one of us. I release my word to law with thanksgiving. Know a joy-filled, peace-filled existence for each and every one. This is the truth. I know that it is so, and so it is.
So it is with the faith of the mustard seed, so it is. So it is. Thank you.
I speak this word for Juliet. I know for Juliet, as the love of God comes forth in her experience, I know that that love is the cement, the building blocks on which she builds her relationship. That love that knows nothing but itself, that love that just simply just allows her to see the truth of her relationship. Truth is, God is, and where God is, there can only be love and more love. So this love fills her relationship and allows her to experience its loving kindness and its sweetness. There is understanding at all times, and there is a faith that simply lifts itself, that graces Juliet's existence, because she knows that wherever she is, all of God is. She's protected, she's provided for. And love reigns supreme in every aspect of our lives unfold. That divine love that created her is that divine love now that she sees in our relationship. And I know for her complete happiness and joy, because this is the truth about her. I release my word to love and know that it is so. And so it is.
It is.
So
it's
it's so perfectly.
Okay. So, Miss Sandy, would you like to share or
Yes,
remind us?
ma'am. Hold on, I'll share. Hold on, give me 1 minute, please. I didn't realize you would finish so quickly. Let me just take this off, put this on, and bring it right up to here. All right. In case you're all wondering, I do talk to myself
That's good, yeah. We say same thing, Baba.
all the time.
Good for you. To bounce off ideas of yourself.
No? Okay, so
Okay, yes.
sorry, let me just go back. Yes, so a few announcements, guys, and reminders. Sort of simultaneously with this session on a Tuesday, we have a weekly grief support group that meets in the book room at the temple between 6 and 7:30.
Right.
Now, my understanding of grief is that it's not necessarily the loss of someone to them having made the transition, but it could be the end of a relationship. It could be that, like my sister and I are getting rid of the, closing and our family home because we have sold it. And she is just so distraught over having to give away mommy's chest of drawers and her buffet and her the cabinet that is there for about nearly 100 years that belonged to my mother's grandmother. And my sister is grieving. I'm realizing now that she's grieving over these things because for her they represent mommy. So I mean, I know she wouldn't be willing to open herself this way, but it would be something that could make a difference to just be able to talk through the loss and the representation that things bring, that we hold on to people through things. So that's Tuesday from 6 to 7:30. And then our labyrinth continues.
Just one step back. Jennifer, you wanted to share anything? I saw it.
No, yes, last week Tuesday I did attend a session on grief, and I was just going to say to Sandy that it is a safe space. It's closed. It's not a lot of persons, and the sharing is very deep and rich. And you can share it with her if she feels moved. She can come. It will help. And
she doesn't come to listen to me. What says?
You never know. You never know.
I will share anyway.
Share it with her. Yes. But it was a rich session. So anybody who needs the service, I did tell them I wouldn't make it every week, but anybody who needs the service, really should avail themselves.
Okay. All right. And now, and on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, we have our monthly labyrinth walk. And so we invite you to come and share your consciousness of peace tomorrow, Wednesday, June 4th at 5:30, right at the temple in our beautiful garden labyrinth. And just a little bit of sadness. Our practitioner Stevie Golding's brother, Georgie, passed away, and his Thanksgiving service will be on Saturday, this Saturday, June 7th, at the Church of St. Mary the Virgin on Malines Road. So you want to support Stevie, feel free to come in, to go to his brother's service to celebrate George's life. Okay. And we forgot to talk about this on Sundays. Is this Sunday that is UC Truths?
This
Right.
Sunday.
The jet
And
celebration.
nobody has come forward to ask for ticket.
Yes, I have ticket. I have people who have asked me for the tickets, Reverend, and they seem to think
How
I
many
said,
people so I can get them from the office
Oh.
down there for them?
yes, you need to get some tickets into the temple because there are people who need.
All right, no, I need the names because remember it's Sunday, you know, so I need to call them beforehand and let them know that I have the ticket and they can pick it up on Sundays. So you
So,
can, I can
No,
call
I
you
know who
tomorrow.
wants the ticket, but I'm saying you need to get it from the UCT people.
so
All
maybe
right,
she wants to know
okay.
how many people.
I call Miss Wickham about that. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah, man.
thanks for
I'll
that.
start to even send up 6 tickets because I know somebody who asked me for 2 already.
Okay, very good.
I would like to go.
And I said
Okay.
I would support it. That's why I said I'd visit even
All
6.
right, okay, I'll call Miss Wickham tomorrow. Thanks a lot for that. Mhm.
Mhm. All right, so that's UC Truth's concert on Sunday with Ashe.
Should be good.
And then don't forget our family fun day.
Oh, no, and that is a hot ticket. Did you all see the mailing today?
Yes, it went out today.
Yes,
I
it
haven't
did.
seen anything.
Did
And I've
go
been
out
home
today.
all day.
Mm.
Yeah, it did go out today. I saw the
Oh,
email.
I haven't. Somebody called in yesterday for you, Jen. She wants to go as well. So you have 2 people now.
My list is in the office there. You just add them to the sheet for me, please. And I think you
Will
got
do.
some more persons
Alright.
as well.
For me, it's 3 adults and 1 child.
There you go. Reverend Michael's
Alright,
name is not
okay.
on my list yet.
And you have my own already.
Yes, Sandy, I
Okay.
do.
All right.
Alright.
Okay, wonderful. It's
Very
going to be
good.
a fantastic fun day.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, and folks just know that the foundations of this ministry is prayer. So invite you to pray with us. Oh, next Sandra Cooper. Oh, his makes ways. Who is up next Tuesday, Reverend Ann?
It's not Tamu. I see Tamu here. It's on May 20th. That's
No. This is not correct.
always right behind me. I don't.
It is I looked at it this evening
I
before
know
I
I'm
came
up
on,
on
you
the
know.
17th.
Listen.
You're
Oh,
on the 17th, Sandy.
No,
I'm
it's not you,
supporting you.
Sandy.
It is
No, I'm on
actually
the
Tamu.
17th.
Yeah, I think it's
It is
Tamu, you know.
Tamu.
So
It is
the
actually
date may be
Tamu.
wrong. The
It
date
is
may
no.
be wrong, but I think it's she.
No, it is Tamu. It is
Okay.
Tamu.
So, and that would be then for June 10th.
10th, sorry.
June 10th.
June
June.
10th for her. Mhm.
And prayer power continues. It's one of those, nothing stops it as far as, you know, and of course, coming right after prayer power on Thursday is the first, sorry, not this Thursday, but
Next Thursday.
next week, Thursday, the 12th of June, will be the Prospering Power of Love by Catherine Ponder. And it will be facilitated by Reverend Sonia and practitioners Steve and Vance. And so Thursdays from 7 to 9 via Zoom. And it will be 6 sessions. And Catherine Ponder's work is extremely powerful. So we do invite you to make a commitment to attend this powerful program. And it says here, discover how to activate divine love as a powerful force for healing.
Jennifer
prosperity,
shared
and
that
transformation.
affirmation that has been the backbone of several meetings and processes that the temple have gone through. Yes, that's true. Very
That's
true.
exactly where that came from. Catherine
Divine,
Ponder.
divine love is doing its perfect work.
Perfect work. Yes, ma'am.
And through me now, indeed. Wow, that's an
That's where-
exciting statement, you know.
Yep, that's where
Really,
it comes
really
from.
exciting.
That very book.
Yes, indeed.
So avail yourself of it. I just want to let you know before you move on to the donation, Sandy, I did check. It's actually Tamu is supporting Carol Campbell for next Tuesday.
Okay.
All
So
right.
Tamu is there, but she's supporting Carol.
Got you. Thanks for that.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so friends, our ministry is built on your love and support. And so if you do feel moved to support our work, please feel free to donate at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, and you will find a number of options through which you can make your contribution. And so we thank you for your generosity and for helping us to be a beacon of light for the world. And as you if you choose to give by any of these means and are about to press the donate button, just press your hand on your heart and share. Lovingly I give,
Give
joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful,
Full
increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich
and
everyone whom you touch, and
And
replenish
replenish
all of my
all
financial
the
affairs.
financial affairs.
so
So be
be
it.
So be it. Thank you,
Thank you,
Father.
Father.
it.
And
And
so it
so
is.
it is. And Reverend Ann, you can take over with the prayer for our center.
Yes. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community, from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so
And
it
so it
is.
is.
The prayer for Jamaica.
And so it is.
The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so
And so
it
it
is.
is.
And so it is.
Yes, friends. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm thanking each and everyone who has participated, giving of your consciousness to this experience called a spiritual mind healing. Together, I know that we have created a force field that is healing our community, our land, and indeed the world at large. Thank you for joining us. So please join me now in this closing affirmative prayer. We recognize that power and presence out of which all things emanate. That presence that is even now surrounding each one of us. I know that its peace protects us, its grace provides for us, its love heals, and indeed renews each and every aspect of our life and affairs. I know that this collective consciousness now goes before each one of us as we go on our separate assignments. And indeed, wherever we find ourselves this evening, we radiate that quiet contentment of peace and joy and success, because that is the truth about each one of us. I know that this collective consciousness allows us, each one of us, to be a beacon of light wherever we find ourselves. We carry that healing virtue everywhere and anywhere, because we all are God in perfect activity. This is the truth about each one of us. And I know for our temple that we continue to let the presence of God guide each and every one of us as we allow ourselves to be that temple of light, ever radiating the truth of love, light, peace, and joy throughout this nation. This is our truth. I release my word to law and know that it is so. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Ann.
Reverend Ann.
Thank you.